507.
Okay, as I stated previously, there are two types of body exams. Okay, the one is the forensic post-exam at autopsy. And some forensic pathologist just does a external exam. And that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about here is an external exam or a body assessment, something that you do on the scene. Because you want to check to make sure that if there's any wounds present here, you document them. You look at post-mortem changes to ensure that what you're seeing at the scene matches the apparent cause and manner of death and the story that you're getting, and whether the body has been moved or altered or redressed in any way. That's what you're looking for here. And as you go through the body exam, you'll document injuries, wounds, tattoos, things about the body that you see that can change prior to autopsy. So you want to document them here. So we're going to go through this step by step, and I'm going to show you how to document, how to photograph, and how to look at the body from head to heel. Now, it is important that you do the exam from head to heel and that you do it the same every time. That way you don't miss something or you don't do it differently and cause confusion later on. So first thing you want to do is start with the head. So again, we have our decedent here. We start at the head, and we first want to make sure that we check for rigor mortis. We look for lividity in the ears, and then we feel the skull, we feel the neck, we look for signs of injuries. If there is any injuries, we want to document those. How does the neck feel? How does the skull itself feel? And the jaw, things like that. Then you want to make sure that you look in the ears with a flashlight. So take a flashlight and you look in the ears. Is there any dirt, blood, brain matter? What could be in the ears? Check the eyes. Check the eyes for petechiae or sclera drying. Do you have corneal cloudiness? What do you have in the eyes that you need to document? Also, you want to check the nose for injuries or anything that's in the nose, and the mouth. Are the teeth intact? Do you have blood in the mouth? Anything that may be there, you'll want to document. And you could also have petechiae on the lips or in the mouth as well. So then, again, we continue to move down the body. So once we're done with the head, we want to look at the neck, because you want to look for ligatures or any type of marks on the neck that could be from strangulation or in a fight or any type of injuries. So again, we look at the neck, then we look at the throat area, in the back, look for ligatures. So what if you find a ligature mark but no ligature? Then that means the scene has been altered. You'll want to document that. What do you see here at the scene? Once we get to this portion, then we have the torso, front and back. Then we have the extremities, and then we move on from there. But we also break the body down into halves. So we have the midline and quadrant. So we start with the midline here, and we want to work closest to us or further away, whichever you want, but do one or the other consistently. So first thing you're going to want to do is check the extremities. Pick up the arm. Check the arm for any broken bones you may feel. Is there any injuries on the arm? Any marks? Are there needle marks on the arm? Anything that you think needs to be documented. Now, we do have tattoos, and so I want to document these tattoos here as we go. So you just simply take those pictures. And any injuries that you may see, you'll want to take those pictures as well. And of course, if you have an injury, you'll want to take the picture with and without scale so that you can get a good reflection of what the wound looks like. Okay, so then you want to go to the other arm. Again, look for any injuries, any marks, anything that the arm may have that you want to document. Check the hands. On both hands, make sure you're checking for whether the fingernails are torn or ripped. Could be an indication of a struggle or a fight. Are there any defensive wounds on the hand? Is there anything about the hands or fingers that needs to be noted? Now, you're wanting to do these exams on every decedent that you have. Even if you feel that it is going to be a natural cause of death, a quick exam is a good thing because you don't want a funeral home to call you later and have found injuries that you didn't find. So then we go to the area of the torso. So if they have the shirt on, in this case it's a t-shirt, I can look under the t-shirt. But if they had a coat, maybe a shirt and a t-shirt as well, you'll need to be removing some of those clothes. You might have to cut them off or remove them completely. But you need to see the body itself. Now, if you do cut the closing off, make sure you don't cut through any bullet holes or knife cuts, anything like that. If you remove the clothes, then bag them as you go. You don't need to redress them, just bag them as you go and mark what they were and that you took it off the decedent. So in this case, again, we simply check the torso area. Again, for any lividity, anything about the torso that looks like an injury, any scars that you may see, any piercings that you have, make sure you just at least document those. We do have a mark here on the shoulder that I want to document with photograph. And of course, we can also document that on our forensic exam, our chart, a forensic exam chart. Again, nothing here. Then we need to roll the body over to check the back. So in that case, again, pull this arm in. All you got to do is simply roll the body as a whole and look at the back. Nothing of injury there. Nothing you need to note. If you do, then just make sure you do note it and photograph it. So then we come back. We've got the torso done. We got the head, the neck, the torso done to here. Then we get to the point of the extremities here. So in this case, we have the shorts. We're going to have to check the groin area in a minute, but first let's check the legs. Nothing here of interest. Check rigor mortis, whether or not is it consistent. Is the lividity consistent? Both legs. Check both for injuries. If you take the socks and shoes off, in some cases you may want to. If you take them off, make sure that you bag them separately between left and right. Also, you'll want to mark the left and the right socks. Now the shoes are pretty obvious, but you don't want to mix the socks up. You want the shoes to stay with the socks, left and right, because there could be evidence on there, whether it would be blood spatter or any other type of fiber, anything that may be on the shoe, the left and right makes a difference. Plus, you're not cross-contaminating the two. All right, so then whether you have a male or a female, you also want to make sure that you check the groin area for injuries, for signs of sexual assault. And I'm not asking that we do an internal exam, just an external exam to make sure that everything's intact and there's no injuries, nothing like they've been stomped or kicked, or if you have a situation of sexual assault, you'll want to document that. If you see signs of semen or fiber, you'll want to collect that at the scene. Those are fragile evidence that can get lost during bagging and transport and in waiting for autopsy. So make sure either you or someone with CSI, someone collects what you see. So again, we've checked the extremities. Now we need to go and we need to check the groin area, again, to make sure that there is nothing about it that is incorrect. Just make sure that you look to see that everything is intact and that you don't have any injuries or marks or anything that might need to be documented. And if so, simply photograph it and document it as you go. And then you'll have the best evidence at the time. Now, that is really all there is to do an external exam. Just make sure you check the full body, head to heel. Make sure you photograph anything that you see, and you document it on a forensic chart and in your summary report. And that's the basics of an external body exam.